Hello guys and welcome back to Double the Money, and today we are going to be turning £2,000 into £4,000 in only 2 weeks. Guys, this competition has taken a massive left turn because this week was an absolute bloodbath, a massacre if you say so. Honestly, this episode was tough to watch because we have 8 couples or 8 duos still left in the competition, and half of them did not make the money this week. That's crazy. So without much further ado, let's get into the episode and let's start talking about the failed and successful pitches. So very obviously, Kath and Lynn were the winners of this week. I'm not surprised in the slightest. I really didn't think that they would be anything outside of the top 4. They decided to go for a talent show idea, which is something that Dale and Harvey did in the previous episode. But I gotta say, Kath and Lynn just did it 10 times better, and it was 10 times more successful. They only made, this is Dale and Harvey, they only made £2,202. They scraped by last week. But this week, Kath and Lynn from their talent show made £5,954, absolutely blowing the 4,000 aim out of the water. I was so impressed. I was genuinely almost blown away by how impressive they are. They've got a real good claim to win this competition. They're absolutely smashing it, and I don't know about you, but I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what else they have to sort of show. Next week is going to be 4,000 into 8,000 in 3 weeks, which I think is going to be a very, very difficult thing to do. But I have faith Kath and Lynn are going to pull it out of the bag. The talent show itself seemed like it was actually really fun. They were charging £10 a ticket, and then they also were upselling drinks and different stalls and food and things like that. So there was a lot of money-making opportunities during the talent show, but they'd already doubled their money before the talent show even began. That is how crazy this was. I'm genuinely just gobsmacked, I think is the word I'd use. How are they getting away with this? This is absolutely insane. Another couple that seems to be doing very, very well week on, week out is Radhika and Seema. Radhika and Seema are absolutely smashing it every single week, and it really does make me happy to see that. Every single week they try and sprinkle a little bit of their culture into whatever they're doing, and honestly, it makes such delightful viewing and such wondrous, ooh, this is fun. And I gotta say, the supper club that they decided to do, yes, it was £50 a ticket, but from the looks of it, it looked absolutely fantastic. And the fact that, I think it was, they were doing some, like, readings afterwards and, like, some stories and stuff like that. And I gotta say, it just seemed like they really had a good handle on exactly what they wanted to do, exactly where they wanted to take it, and I was really impressed with them, I gotta say. They managed to make £4,917, so £917 over what they should have. Honestly, you can't fault them for that. Absolutely not, you can't fault them. I think they're doing absolutely fantastic. They've been very, very consistent throughout the competition with how they've done, and they've always done very, very well. So I've got no sort of concerns about them moving forward. I think they, along with Kath and Lynn and our third place couple, are the strongest people in the competition, as we're seeing week on, week out. They're always in the top 3 or always in the top half of the competition at least. And now it's really getting down to the wire. We've only got a couple of episodes left and not that many people left in the competition, which means it's going to be harder and harder to ignore a blunder. Yeah. So Natalie and Jack decided to set up a catering van at a nearby campsite. This was an interesting idea, and it definitely came with a lot of issues and problems. First of all, the power wasn't working. The power completely, the generator just broke. So for a couple of, like, I think a day or two, they just couldn't do anything. They also had to set it all up, so I think they burnt through a whole week not being able to do anything. Obviously, that's not ideal. That's not what you want. But they did manage to pull it out the bag. They were charging burger and chips for a tenner, which I think's a decent price, especially at a campsite where people probably don't have access to like proper food. So this was a really, really smart ploy, especially to set up near a camping site, because people are going to pay it. They just are, you know they are. So it just made absolute perfect sense to set up right there. I gotta say, I would have liked to have seen them do something that didn't involve cooking again. But then I feel like, I don't know, they've already done one food stall in episode 2. Well, they didn't do a food stall, they did like a supper club, which is kind of what Radica and Seema are doing. And Radica and Seema have kind of done like... no, I don't even think they've done similar things every time. It's been very, very wildly different each time. Yeah, so I feel like, I don't know, I think if you can make it work, I don't mind you doing the same thing again and again and again, as long as like it's interesting to watch. Marisha and Gabrielle. Oh, it's Marissa, not Marisha, my bad. Yeah, I don't know. Nat and Jack, they are definitely a very, very strong couple. I have no doubts that they'll make it to the final. I mean, to be fair, it could all go to pot next week. Who knows? Because only 4 couples left next week. And it's going to get tighter and tighter. The competition is going to get tougher and tougher. And I don't think some people are ready for that. So the last couple that made it through, and a couple that I was really hoping would make it through, is father and son, Dale and Harvey. Oh, they are just so entertaining to watch. I think Dale is the son, Harvey's the dad. I might have got that mixed round. But Harvey's just so funny. He's so sort of like, come and get your jack of potatoes. Come on, you gotta get your jack of potatoes. And then Dale's just like the typical stroppy son that's like, I really don't like this idea. This idea is horrendous. When I tell you they scraped by 1,117. Every single week, somehow they've scraped by. And I'm so impressed. Turning 4,000 into 8,000, I think, is going to be difficult for them. But still, they've absolutely smashed it this week. The fact that they made it, selling feckin' jacket potatoes that were cold, soggy, horrible. The fact that they made it, outstanding. It's absolutely crazy, because at one point the fridge broke. The fridge just broke, and I was like, oh no. Oh, please say it ain't so. Come on, please say it ain't so. They can't go out like this with soggy spuds. Oh god. And then obviously Sue showed up. I think anytime Sue shows up, is to help boost sales a little bit, because people go, oh, that's Sue Perkins at that stall. Oh, maybe we should go over to that stall. Oh, maybe we'll appear on camera. That kind of thing. So I feel like it's always very, like, interesting, because obviously they turned up to Nissi and Ben in week 2 and they were having a struggle. They turned up to... who did they turn up in week 3? I can't remember now. I don't remember. Oh, well. But my point still stands. They have... oh, was it Radica and Seema? Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Besides the point, they did really, really well. They managed to make £4,117. They came in 4th place. After this point, nobody else made it. No one else. No one else. Everyone else was cut, unfortunately. Yeah. Sad. So up next, we have Shay and Samina. They managed to make £2,584. They decided to do family festivals during the half term. One of them was like an adults only evening quiz night, I think. Yeah. They didn't manage to sell the tickets that they wanted to sell. They were selling them for like 20 quid a ticket, which I think is already expensive for something like that. And then they decided to have like a kids' day out. Again, didn't get the ticket sales that they wanted to, and it did just seem like a little bit of a disaster. And this is coming from a pairing that has been consistently strong throughout the competition, and it's a shame to see sort of them fall apart like that, because I really did think that they were going to do absolutely fantastic, but they didn't. A little bit awkward. Yeah, not great. But it is what it is. There's not really much you can do. It is a shame to see them go. I thought they would have made it a lot further, but it's difficult to turn 2,000 into 4,000 in 2 weeks. If your business idea is just not working, there's not really much you can do. Next up, we have Jamie and Jeff. Now, Jamie and Jeff are another couple that have absolutely scraped through. The father and son duo, they are iconic. I love them to pieces. But they decided to do chapati wraps. And the issue is they chose some festivals that just weren't getting footfall. The first one was literally rained off. They'd set up everything and then they were told by the organisers, we've cancelled. So then they had to take everything down and it was just a bit awkward. It was just a bit awkward and uncomfortable. And I also thought, hang on a minute. Come here. Why would you go to a brand new festival? Because they were like, oh yeah, this festival's only been going like a year or two. This was on Bournemouth Beach. Why would you go there? Because there was absolutely no fucker there. What was that all about? And then they were like, oh, we'll just go sell in like a pub nearby. And I was like, okay, that's a decent idea. But again, it just didn't make them the money. They managed to make £2,519. It just wasn't enough to cut it, unfortunately. They only made £519 more than their £2,000 investment when they were meant to make £2,000. So it just wasn't a good, wise investment. I'm still shocked they managed to make 2,000 odd off of Hook a Duck, but it is what it is. Not really much you can do. It is a shame to see them go, but alas, we must move on. Coming in 7th this week was Gabrielle and Marissa. They decided to do makeup masterclasses taught by professionals for £40. Yeah, just, I don't think it would have been something that would have got many people. I think makeup masterclasses, most people who wear makeup teach themselves how to do it or watch online. They don't really go to classes. I can't think of any of my friends that would willingly go to and pay £40 to go to a class to have someone teach them how to do makeup. Unless they were like really interested in like becoming like a makeup artist or something like that. I don't know. It just felt like a really misguided opportunity. And I also would have liked to have seen them actually do some graft. Do you know what I mean? Like actually make a product and do something. Because like every single one of their products has been sort of like an event or something like that. Or like online fitness video. Oh, that was I can't believe that people actually paid for that. That was shocking to me. Yeah, they just weren't a very strong couple, I gotta be honest. I think that they really, really struggled. And I'm not surprised. I'm surprised they made it this long, because some of their business plans were awful. Absolutely awful. But is what it is. We didn't really get to know much about them. In fact, I don't know anything about them at all. I wonder if they just have no personality. And the show was like, oh, we've actually got no footage to show people of them. So the final couple that we have is unfortunately Nissi and Ben. From their £2,000 start money, they actually ended up with £695. So they actually made a loss of a lot. They made a loss of like almost £1.5 grand. Essentially, their idea was to flip cars. So buy cars, do them up, sell them on. It would have been a good idea if they had had longer, I think. I think it was really misguided to do that, especially when Ben was in the United States on work, and then halfway through, Nissi went to go join him. And so there was absolutely nobody apart from Ben's like best friend doing up the cars. So it was just a bit sort of like, actually, what do? Because it's a shame, because Nissi and Ben were top week 1. They came quite high week 2. They did well last week. They came 5th. And then bottom of the table, lost money this week. I was just in absolute shock and awe and, huh? How? Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame. It is what it is, but there's not really much you can do. But that is pretty much it for this episode. I just want to say thank you guys very, very much for watching and hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, doing all those YouTube stuffs that you guys do so well. We are on our way to 900 subscribers. Taking a little longer than expected, but it's all right. We move. And yeah, just happy you guys are still watching and enjoying the video. So without much further ado, thank you guys very, very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.